This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name is Joni Rametta, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Mark Clark. Mark, how are you?
I'm awesome today, Joni, as always. How are you?
I'm awesome. You know what today is, right?
I'm getting hungry.
I know. It's Thanksgiving Eve, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So the turkeys are thawing in the refrigerator. The stuffing's being cooked in the kitchens, and it smells so good.
Absolutely. I love this time of year. It's my favorite. This is the time of year I always, I end up with bruises on my hand because I'm trying to get in and snack, and I get my hand smacked. Yeah, I'm stealing food.
So you're getting hit with a wooden spoon?
Wooden spoon, the wife, the mother, the mother-in-law, whoever is in charge. I'm always trying to get in there and steal the morsels.
Yeah. Well, it's a time of year for us to be, thankful for all the blessings that we have. So,
we are thankful.
You need to say thank you as you're stealing it, maybe. That would help.
That doesn't work because, it's thankful. You can thank me tomorrow, but keep your grubby hands out of my dish. That's the concept I get.
Yeah. Well.
And then, by the weekend, we're going to be cooking Christmas cookies. Ooh, did I just say that? Cooking Christmas cookies. And that's
You bake cookies.
We bake them. We bake the cookies. And that's a whole nother story in itself.
I know.
That's one of the ones where I get in trouble too. Although the grandkids help because when you have the cute little dudes to say, hey, they wanted one, then that kind of helps in the cause of me getting.
You can't get in trouble because you're the big guy. Well, and we can't reprimand Grandpa in front of the little ones either. But
Pop's taking care of them. So
absolutely. Well, the tables are set and we're all ready for dinners tomorrow, and
we hope
go around. Well, my table's set.
Yeah, I'll bet.
my turkey will be stuffed tonight. I always stuff it the night before, and cranberries are made. I don't eat the cranberries, but I make them, and we never get to dessert at our house. That's one of the things I can always say. By the time dessert comes, I have to give up extra potatoes or stuffing for dessert, and I'd rather have the stuffing than the dessert.
Well, you just take a break and you sit around the table and chat a little, make up another story from years gone by. But we do have a lot to be thankful for.
We do.
And as I'm sitting here thinking about, and people are going, isn't this a financial show? Yes, it's a financial show, but sometimes you got to take a break from all this stuff. And we've been talking this past month about being thankful and about being generous and doing things. And sometimes, and this is kind of funny as I am thinking on the fly, as I sometimes always do, but those old traditions, you just said you stuff your turkey the night before. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I always do, I love, for some reason, my mother's pumpkin pie. It's one of those things. And when you get the pumpkin pie, you take the Cool Whip. Mm-hmm. And you have to take the Cool Whip and completely cover the piece of pie. I mean, I eat the crust off the back of it first, get that out of the way, because it's I never figured that out. Why do you save the crust for last? That's the worst part. I like the middle. So I completely cover it up, and then I have whipped cream with every bite of pie. And I'm like, that's the way I like to do it. But sometimes, we get stuck in ruts.
We do.
And sometimes we're missing opportunities because we've thought this is the way things have always been. Mm-hmm. And especially as I reflect back over the month, and we're going to kind of talk about the month in review here as the Thanksgiving, being thankful. We're giving away a book this month, maybe extend it into next month, but the treasure principle is all about the things that what you've done in the past and where you're trying to go in the future. Do they line up? And as we reflect and we look at the things that we're being thankful for this lovely holiday season, do we have an opportunity to make some changes and do better? We've kind of reflected on some of the things this month as we look back that we could potentially make a change and make a different impact, which is what this life journey is all about, making a difference. And what can we change? What can we think about? Even though I love that pie covered in whipped cream, am I missing another dessert that's even better?
Right.
But I can't eat two of them. Well, I can eat two of them, but, You get where I'm going with that.
Well, traditions are really nice, but, sometimes that was a tradition that, is a generation ago, and now it's a new generation, so it's a new tradition, and times have changed. So the things that, we're thankful for could be different, and the places that we can make an impact could also be different. So, right. It's not always, we're talking about giving, but, you don't always have to give cash. You can give your time.
Right.
We've talked about that. You don't always have to give cash or your time. You can give appreciated stock, or,
right.
If you've got a painting or something that's of value and, you want to give that, there's ways to do that. So it's about looking for what you want to do and what impact you want to have, and then the best way to make that impact with what you have.
Right.
Because we all have different things.
Yeah, we do. And, as you look and take inventory, there's a scripture that talks about know the condition of your flocks. It's in the Old Testament, yes, but it's still applicable. What do you own? What are your assets? What are the resources? What are the opportunities you have with those resources to make a difference and make an impact? And oftentimes we're so focused on, to go back to my pie, we're so focused on that pumpkin pie and putting the whipped cream around it that we missed all the other things that are available to us. And
right. The other dessert that's a new dessert that...
Absolutely.
Or something that has pumpkin in it that you like the taste of pumpkin, but,
right.
but maybe it's a different kind of item. But if we don't sit down and take an inventory, and that's one of the things that you and I do as financial planners is, we like to take an inventory of what people have, because so many times, and how many times has this happened? We've had somebody
right.
come in and say, well, we don't have very much. And then by the time you start, we stop writing all the things that they do have. We've got writer's cramp, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize I had that much, because you never put it all together.
Right. I think oftentimes people answer the question of what cash do I have in my pocket?
Right.
That's how they're defining the
my
net
free
worth.
cash flow.
Defining their,
or my paycheck value.
Very limited. And then
right.
when you back up and you take an inventory and you really look and you go, oh, wow. It's kind of like, this is fun. I love this. It's kind of like Thanksgiving dinner where you say, do we have enough? Do we have enough food? And then the next thing you know, you finish dinner, half of the plates are still full and everybody's sitting around holding their belly going, oh, well, of course.
I always overcook. Oh. Always.
Sure we do.
We always do, because you always overplan. You always, and I'm not sure that's a bad thing.
No, it's not.
But I think that it comes back to, if you bought a 25-pound turkey this year and you didn't eat it all and you threw any of it away, next year you probably should buy a 20-pound turkey and save a little bit of money and save a turkey.
Well, yeah, you don't want to miss out on those those famous turkey sandwiches after.
Have them for too long.
Oh, yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, you get tired, whatever that is called. But anyway, we're giving away a book, The Treasure Principle by Randy Alcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Go to journeyswithjoni.com and click on the link, put your name and email it, and we need your address if we're going to send it to you.
Yeah, those are mailable books.
Yes, they're nice.
Hard copy books.
Really
they're
nice
very
book.
nice. And we still have a few left in the office. So if you have not already signed up to receive one, please don't hesitate to do that, and let us get it out before the holidays and the mail gets all bogged up with all holiday stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. I can smell the turkey cooking now. But we got a break, so we can't talk about turkey much longer.
Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Mark and I were talking just before the break. Actually, just before the break, you said something about the turkey smells good, and now it's almost like you can smell it.
I can
Isn't that
smell
funny?
it. Yeah, oh, of course.
Your mouth starts to water. But, we were talking about going to journeyswithjoni.com, where you can register to receive a free copy of The Treasure Principle,
right?
The book that we're giving out this month. And depending on supplies, we may give it out next month a little bit too.
We might.
But, as we're wrapping up the month of November. Unbelievable.
Right, I can't believe that.
I know. I mean, it was just January.
I know.
Where's the year gone?
I know. Time flies when you're having fun,
It
doesn't
does fly. Yeah. Well, we're doing our senior year with our last children at home. So,
yes.
We never thought this day would come. And now all of a sudden I want to put it in, stop it, because it's going way too fast. Football season's been over for a couple weeks, and
oh yeah,
college applications are
flying all
entered.
over the place. Yeah, get all kind of mail, don't we?
It's really interesting. It's the first time I think I've seen my son go get the mail. All of a sudden, he's going to the mailbox. I'm like, what's that all about?
They're looking for those acceptance
they're looking
letters.
for those letters. That's absolutely right.
And they have a lot to be thankful for as well.
They do. Absolutely.
And they've done a lot of work and a lot of prep and a lot of things to get them prepared to do that, which is kind of what we're talking about on this show, about being thankful. And we've talked about it all month, being thankful because we have prepared. We've done things in the past that's gotten us where we are. And now we're looking forward as we go into December, which I can't believe, heading into the holidays. But oftentimes we get so crazy busy during the holidays, we miss some opportunities that we have in the last part of the year to really set up the next year. We're not going to talk about 2015 yet today. We're probably going to talk about that next week on next week's show. But
that's the month of December, is planning for 2015.
Right. So we talked a lot in the month of November here about being thankful and some of the things that we've backed up and looked about being generous.
Right.
And we talked what did we talk last week about?
Last week we talked about being generous and planning, trying to get some planning done now for what you're going to do before the end of the year, and having conversations with your accountants. How much room do you have to be giving, and what are you going to give? Don't wait until December 30th to try and figure out where you're going to go stuff a whole bunch of things to do for tax purposes. Start to think about now as you're being thankful for what you have, what are the things that you're thankful for? And is there something that other people maybe don't have that you have that you could, you could redirect some of your resources and start thinking about that now.
And one of the things we have talked about, and we do have accessible via the website, if you need more info, send us an email. But the National Christian Foundation has a donor advised fund. It's free. There's no charge to it. And you can actually, if you're going to make a substantial gift, I would say substantial is anything over, a couple $1,000, and you're not prepared or you don't know exactly who you want to give the money to, what organization, but you need to make a gift, you can gift the money into the account at the National Christian Foundation, and that'll meet the tax purposes of giving the money away. And then
because now you've lost control of the money.
Right.
It's in a donor advised fund.
Right.
It has to go to a charity eventually, but it doesn't have to go the same time that you make the contribution.
Right. You can wait till July next year to sprinkle the money out from that. You still have direction on it, but you get the tax deduction and you still have the ability to, like you just said, direct where the money goes. Yes, you've given it away for tax purposes, but it's sitting there waiting on you to further direct it.
Well, and a lot of times now we know of something that's coming up next year. Maybe your church is planning to do some kind of a building fund, or, there's, school starts in August of next year. And, last year you wished you would have done X, Y, or Z as far as like backpacks or, something like that. You can put money in a donor advised fund now, knowing that next year where you're going to send the money.
Right.
But you can't send it to them yet because they're not ready to receive it. So a lot of times too, we know what we want to do, but they're not ready to receive it yet. So you put it in the donor advised fund. Personally, I have a donor advised fund. I love it because when I hear about opportunities, I know how much money is in that fund, and I can say, well, gosh, I got some money there. I can actually give some money to this cause. And
you're able to do that because you had intent with the planning to be charitable all the way through the year, and not just waiting. We had Joe Rockline on from Supply and Shea a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And we talked about taking advantage of some tax opportunities by the end of the year. And we did talk about this while he was on the radio. And it's an opportunity where you have to be intentional about giving, intentional about tax planning. And when you can combine the two, I would the results of the election were they were awesome. But at the same time, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. But at the same time, the tax laws and tax rules change. And here's an opportunity that,
absolutely,
you need to be aggressive on not sending too much to Caesar, because we've already talked about Washington's never going to be as good of a steward with your money as you are with your money that you've been entrusted with. So
absolutely,
that's a fact.
That is a fact. And, Joe also talked about, if you're a business owner, and you're looking to do like equipment, or you're looking to do something with healthcare, how important it is to visit with your accounting person to find out where you are now before the end of the year so you can do some planning.
Right.
Because, we've had some of those opportunities in our office. We're not going to talk about it today. We'll talk about it next week. But, business owners, you can start planning now for next year. Don't wait till next year to plan for next year.
Right.
So is there anything that you can do towards the end of this year that would help you and your business next year? Is there anything that you can do for, charity-wise that you want to give, what the dollar amount is, but you don't know where you want to give it? Then you need to set up a donor advised fund, and you need to do it this year so that you get the tax benefits this year.
Right. And if you're a business owner, you have an opportunity with a donor advised fund to even set up a matching fund with your employees, and put a challenge on the table to say, hey, we're going to support any ministry or organization. You can set parameters around it, and give them an opportunity maybe that you would match 25% or 50% or a 50-50 match on, if they put $1 in, you'll put $1 in up to a certain limit toward making an impact. And that fosters an environment of giving. It's one thing to be thankful, and it's one thing to sit around the table and, again, I can see my piece of pumpkin pie with the whipped cream all the way around it, and I'm just licking my chops at this point. But you can think about that, but it's another thing to put your thoughts in action and be intentional about making an impact and helping others get there. Because, frankly, sometimes the only thing people need is a little nudge or some leadership to step out and say, hey, this is how you do it, and we're going to do this together.
Well, and, Thanksgiving starts the busy holiday season, and what's going to happen is we're all going to get busy and caught up in the Christmas holidays, and then New Year's is going to be here, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh no, I forgot.
Yep.
So, before you get caught in Black Friday, and before you get caught in wrapping paper and things like that at your house, or you get involved in church services and programs at school and stuff, talk to your accountant, make those plans now for the end of the year.
And we're giving a free book away.
We are.
The Treasure Principle.
Go to www.journeyswithjoni, that's JONI.com, and we'll send you a book. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Just before the break, Mark and I were recapping the month of November and our giving and blessing type of month that we were talking about.
Can't believe we're recapping already.
I know. Isn't it unreal?
Yeah, but you've got me focused on that pie now.
No, you brought up the pie.
That? Okay.
I'm not a dessert person, remember? I just want extra helpings of stuffing.
I'm not either until it's in front of me.
And you can smell the cookies, and
you're just
Christmas cookies are coming too.
You're just trying to get me to slobber on this microphone.
I know.
I know. Christmas cookies are to be baked probably this weekend. I can. Pop and Gia will be baking cookies, I'm sure. So
I think from this point on, I'm not eating until tomorrow.
I am. I've heard that if you snack now, you keep your stomach stretched so you can eat more on Thanksgiving.
That's really sad.
And those are you that are shaking your head left and right. I'm speaking to you, and that's just a fact. That's the way it happens.
Well, it is Thanksgiving, and we're thankful, I think, too, for all of the listeners who are listening to us the day before Thanksgiving.
Right,
and,
both of you.
Both of you. And yes, we are a financial show, but we talk about more than just the finances, because the finances are just a part of your life.
Right.
And in its entirety, your life is important to you and your family and to us. And it's our purpose and our intent to help everybody make an impact where they want to make an impact. Our life here on this earth is limited. We don't know how long it's going to be, but in the scheme of things, it's just a little dot. So, we need to do as much as we can with the things that we're given, which goes right back to we're giving out the Treasure Principle book.
Great book,
little book, not very big. Good one to read. You can read it. You can go to www.journeyswithjoni.com and order the book. We'll send it to you. You can read it before the end of the month, and then give it away to somebody before the Christmas holidays. And, maybe your impact is getting other people to make an impact.
I believe it is. And,
there's nothing more rewarding than watching other people or watching your kids give or do something.
And it doesn't necessarily take money to have impact.
Absolutely not.
It just takes action.
No.
And it can be free action. Mm-hmm. And whether you pass on the book, The Treasure Principle by Randy Alcorn, great book, or, you just take action and you do something. A couple of nights ago, if you tune into the Hallmark Channel, they're already playing Christmas movies. Yeah,
I've seen a couple of my favorites already.
And I'm not going to get the quote right, but this adult woman was talking to Santa Claus, and he had turned around and made a comment to her. And basically the gist of the comment was, if you have an intent to do something nice for someone, do it now. Do it today. Because you don't know what tomorrow holds, for them or you. And, things happen. People get transferred. People move. People get sick. People change jobs, all those things. So don't miss that opportunity. We've had a great month this month talking about being thankful. I'm thankful Joe Rockline from Supplee & Shea. He's a CPA, longtime buddy of mine. We went to high school together. He was on the show talking about taxes. We talked about giving this month quite a bit.
Yep.
And about making sure that we have an opportunity we can talk and interact with our clients about making an impact in their lives and in their space of their life that can be rewarding to them. And I think that's very important.
It's very rewarding.
It is.
It puts a smile on your face and you leave the office feeling good.
Yeah, because it's
the many conversations that we've had lately.
Yeah, it's not always about the money. It really isn't. And it's about the journey. And, that's what I was thinking. This show is entitled Journeys with Joni. And the first word is journey. Mm-hmm. And life is a journey and things change. I think about, if I rewind my mind, a year ago, I was getting ready to go to New York and with the family. And fast forward a year to current moment, I have 2 more grandkids than I had last year. And so if you think about it, that's 3 families, really. If I multiply it, that's a whole lot of families that were affected by 2 little people showing up and doubling down the grandkids and the whole 9 yards. But all of the opportunities that you have in life for change, and oftentimes I go back to my piece of pie. If I'm stuck in the rut of my pie and this is the way I've done it and this is the way it's always going to be, that's not the fact. I have to have an open mind to say, okay, things are changing around me. What am I missing that I could be so much better at what I'm trying to accomplish in life? How can I improve? And, you got to get resources plugged in from the outside to continue to grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying.
Right. Well, and we're reminded all the time from our high school seniors that, it's different now, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same but different.
I tried. Remember the story your parents used to always tell you about how they used to walk uphill in the snow?
Yeah, barefoot.
To school, barefoot. Yeah. I've tried that, but my kids know I was raised in Florida. It doesn't really fly.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. But, things are not any different now than they were then. It's just I think a lot of it has to do with your perspective. And if you're a giver, it changes your perspective. And it changes some of the things that you think about and you look at a lot of things differently. So, there's a lot of things that we all should be thankful for.
There are. Speaking of that,
yeah.
As we come to the close here before Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, yum, yum. What are you thankful for this year?
What am I thankful for this year? Wow. Well, actually, I'm thankful that we made it through the end of the year.
We're still doing radio.
Yeah, we're still on the radio. They haven't asked us to leave yet. Well, the 2 listeners that you said earlier, nobody's called in to complain. But, I'm thankful for all the opportunities and all the people that we have met going through this journey because, like you said, it is Journeys with Joni. And, I'm actually on a journey myself. Sure. So, I'm grateful for all the people that, we've met doing the show. I'm grateful for all the, the lives that we've had an impact on. And looking back at my kids, I've got one on his own and I've got another one on his way to college. And, every once in a while they actually say, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
And it's, now you're going to make me cry.
Oh, but don't do that.
No, but, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that I've been able to provide for my kids and that my kids turned out the way they did.
Yeah. And, I am thankful for all the people who took time to invest in me this year.
Yeah.
And that includes you, by the way. And it is about the journey. It's about the other people. I'm thankful for my family. 4 grandkids total. Pop and G are having a blast. They come over to the house, just trash the place. I love it. But I know we're running out of time, but we are thankful. And I know you mentioned people are probably thankful here's a financial show and they're not talking about finances, but we want to wish everyone a very happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your dinner, enjoy the pie and the coffee. And
eat more than you need to.
Eat more than you need. I will.
Yeah, it's the day that you're allowed to because the calories don't count.
That's right.
This is a financial show, and we're going to tell you right now the numbers on the calories do not count tomorrow.
We have the magic calculator.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to order the Treasure Principle book, you can go to Journeys with Joni. That's JONI.com. Send us your name and address, and we'll get the book right out to you. Journeys with Joni. We'll be back next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.